to all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is the Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Shawn Whittington. I am a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, and I'm coming to you from my haunted house, my very haunted house, where I live. And it hasn't been quiet today. It hasn't been quiet the last few days. It may have something to do with my guest today. And I reached out to her last night, I believe it was, and asked her if she had a chance to remote view my home before today's show. Please do. And then I'll see what she has to say about that. The last time she did that, she came up with some pretty amazing stuff. So most of you that have tuned in already know her and love her. I love her. She's so cool. I'm going to bring her right out. Let's first check the prayer urn. Angie P. from Texas. Hi, Angie. Do you believe in guardian angels? I'm a big guardian angel person. I've got my one of many of my guardian angel statues here on my desk. They're all over the house. But yeah, I'm a big fan of guardian angels. And my guest today happens to be an earth angel. Um, I didn't until recent. I think I've seen mine, and I have been helped in times of trouble. Do you have a good guardian angel prayer, and can you offer it up to everyone's guardian angels? Angie, what a sweet request, and I most certainly do. I have a bunch of them. Let's see what one pops out of my journal here. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay, I am going to offer this up to everybody's guardian angel, including Angie's. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear angel at my side, my good and loyal friend, you have been with me since the moment I was born. You are my own personal guardian, given to me by God as my guide and protector, and you will stay with me till I die. He who created you and me gave me to you as your particular charge. You assisted in great joy at my baptism when I became part of the mystical body of Christ and was made a member of the household of God and an heir of heaven. You saw the dangers that beset my path, and if I sinned, it was in spite of you. You envied me when Christ came to me in Holy Communion, even though you probably were there among the angels that adored him the night that he was born. You have not been able to receive him as I can. Oh, help me to appreciate these gifts. Help me to realize, as you do, with every fiber of my being, that to serve Christ is to be a king. Help me steadfastly to avoid evil and do good and always guard my soul from sin. Protect me as well from physical evils as I go about my daily work. You will be with me all my life and at the hour of my death. Help me to face death bravely, patiently, with great love of God, knowing that it is only through death that I can come home to him in heaven. Then come with me to my judge, and when the hour of my salvation comes, take me home to my Father, God. Amen. Wow, I haven't read that one in a long time. That's a beautiful prayer. That's for Angie, her guardian angel, and all of your guardian angels. And don't forget your guardian angels. Pray to them often. Pray to them when you need help. They're waiting for you to ask. Okay? I'll tell you the story sometime about the 3 times I've seen mine, and all 3 times my life was saved. Okay, let's check the mailbag. And if this is a good paranormal question from someone for me, I might even save it for my guest. Peter P. from New York. I'm an antique collector. Uh-oh. I believe in an old oil lamp from the Middle East that I purchased came with a spirit attachment. The paranormal activity is getting worse. Could I be dealing with a jinn? Either way, suggestions? I am going to ask my guest today what she thinks about that. You could be dealing with a jinn. You could just be dealing with a really malevolent, non-human entity, not necessarily demonic, or God forbid, it might be demonic. I don't know, Peter. You got to be careful with antiques. Um, Suggestions. Well, you're not going to like this. It's probably worth a lot of money. I would sell it. If you don't want to sell it, you're going to have to bind it. Probably even get it off the property. So it's probably better that you sell it. But if you want to bind it, um, I would bind it if I were you. But you got to be very, very careful. And I'll talk to my guest about that. Peter, I would like you to reach out to me later if you're watching the show. And I'd like to know where you bought it, a little more history on the lamp, how this manifestation of this entity came to your attention after you possessed this lamp. I'd like to talk to you about this sort of stuff, and then I'll give you some options on how to bind it if you're up to that. And if you're not, you'll probably, like I said, have to give it to somebody to bind it for you, or sell it with a big warning sign to potential buyers that it may come with an attachment. But yeah, if it's that old and it's got that strong of an attachment, then you're gonna have to bind it. But be careful, guys. I know antiques are fun. I've got a lot of antiques. Some do have attachments. Many of them I've binded them and they're either out in my yard buried somewhere or they're in the garage in storage. But yeah, you've got to bind these things. Okay, I will leave that out for my guest. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there, keep in mind my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So trust me, brothers and sisters, I know times are tough, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. I'm also a spiritual advisor, certified spiritual advisor. So if you're having issues of a spiritual nature, not attached to the paranormal, and you'd like to make an appointment to speak with me, there is a place on the website where you can make an appointment. Don't leave the website without navigating over to the page called Introduction to Spiritual Warfare Course/book. On that page, you'll find the Ghost Store. Lots of cool things to buy in there. And proceeds from everything that's purchased on there go to support things that I support, charities that I support. So that's all good. But scroll down a little bit further and you'll run into not only one, but both my books. God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry, and God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry 2. Twice the Rev, Twice the Scares. One's an autobiography, and the other one is Chronicles of an American Exorcist. Some of these stories are too scary for TV, so that's why they didn't make the show, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. My autobiography might be haunted. You can get the books from me here, autographed. They come enclosed in a house blessing kit. I ship them directly to you, or you can get them a little less expensive on Amazon. But part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So how cool is that? You get to help some of the neediest children on the planet, along with the animals too. So that is very, very cool. Scroll a little further down on that page, you'll see the Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course. I offer a 12-week online college level course, complete with diploma, called Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. And it's exactly that. It's Introduction to Spiritual Warfare through my eyes, what I've seen and experienced since getting into the deliverance ministry field. It's not going to teach you how to be an exorcist. That's a completely different calling. But this course is for all you true warriors for Christ out there that feel a calling and a longing to want to have more knowledge when it comes to drawing your line in the sand, making a stand, circling the wagons, putting up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil, if that ever comes calling, that's the course for you. You can enroll at the website. If you want more information about the course before making that type of commitment, you can go to the Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course Facebook page and read a little more about it, or just call me. We'll talk about it and see if the course is right for you. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly. So, most importantly, please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. Okay, the reason why you all tuned in, like I said before, and I mean it, I love her, I respect her, she's very cool. Wish we lived closer together. We could work some cases together. She would be in, and we're going to talk about her team too, but would be invaluable on a team. Paranormal authority, paranormal enthusiast, um, TV, radio, film personality. Been on a couple of paranormal shows. We'll talk about that. In fact, I think we've got their anniversaries of her appearing on these shows coming up. If we're not already there, but please give a big warm paranormal ministry family welcome to my friend, the one and only Sharon Wozniak Lennon. Sharon, are you there?
I'm here.
What happened?
Delay. I got stuck in traffic.
We talked about all the computer issues with all the solar flares and stuff before the show got. I thought, oh, the sun's you look very pretty tonight. I'm so happy that you had an hour free of your busy Friday afternoon to hang out with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm doing good. Good.
I think we have an anniversary. I think it's been about 5 years since you appeared on both My Ghost Story and Haunted Case Files.
Yeah, Haunted Case Files and My Ghost Story. I was on 2 shows of each, and
Two shows of each. I forgot about that. I thought it was one
yeah,
appearance on each.
no.
Um, how has that? You're an Earth Angel, and we'll get into that. But how did uh my life really hasn't changed. To honestly, my life hasn't changed much since doing this show. How I hope it's changed other people's lives. I get a lot of messages from people saying, "Love the show, love you on the show." The story you talked about last night brought me back to God. I'm telling you, if the show doesn't go to any further than this season, or if nothing else happens from it, that's what it's all about. That's what has changed. More people coming to me saying that I and the show brought them closer to God, which um, that's a great, great compliment and just a beautiful thing. How did that in the 5 years since you've appeared on these shows? How has that changed your life, good or bad, or what would you say on that topic?
Um, it's probably been better because more people realize what we're. I'm just not a paranormal investigator. I actually help the spirits cross into the light, and it's people get the misconception we're just there to, aggravate souls that are stuck. But no, we're there respectfully just to communicate, to find out why they're there, if they want to cross over. Mere fact, I actually produce a show now too, called Paranormal Experiences with RIP. And actually, I just finished a show from Gettysburg, and someone said, "Oh, I live close to there. Don't, just leave those spirits be." But I said, "Yeah." I'm like, she didn't watch the show. I'm like, well, if you watch the show, you'll find out that we're not there to like aggravate the spirits or give them unrest. We're just actually we went there and we ended up crossing a whole bunch of soldiers in, into heaven. So it's the misconception is the hardest thing. But then there's people that think that's wow, that's really great, it's awesome. And then I've had people come to me. It's like, I have so many spirits in my house. Could you please help me? So it's helped in a lot of ways. Open the door for us to help more people.
That is a beautiful thing. Gettysburg. You know, if I'm wrong, I know I'll hear from my sisters or my younger brother about this. I'm almost 100% positive when I was a kid, my parents took me there. Almost positive. I know we went to Valley Forge. I know I thought I saw reenactors, and they were having a reenactment going on till I found out later that that wasn't going on there. So I assumed what I saw there was spirits. I assume I would have much of the same experience going to Gettysburg, but that has to be at the top of the list. Um, if I did go, I was so young. My memory of that is not that good. So I would love to go back again. But how can people? I did not know you were doing a show. So you have to tell me and tell everybody else how they can watch the shows.
Right now, all of my shows are on our YouTube channel because right now it's locally broadcast through a cable station. If you have a Roku TV, it's called it's not Comcast, it's Cablecast. You have to download an app called Cablecast, and then it's on the Cablecast app. It's through LCTV, which is a local television station. But yes, we've been. I think we started back in September or October when we started the show. So I produce it. I put everything together, and right now everything is on the our YouTube. For all the episodes that we've had on the Cablecast is now on YouTube under RP Ghosts as a channel, and all our episodes are on there. So we have right currently. I just finished Gettysburg, so now there's about 8 shows on there, besides other videos we have that have of our investigations. But if they're interested in watching those shows, they're about an hour long because it's a process, Shawn. When you're going to, there's a process to not just walking into a building. So they're about an hour long episodes. So it's really it's quite unique, and I've been doing it, like I said, for a few months now, and I'm enjoying it.
With all of the shows that are out there that are very not exactly like, but very similar to Haunted Case Files and My Ghost Stories stuff. Do you ever get any of them reaching out to you anymore?
Um, not as of late. Not that I've noticed. It's bad. I'm bad. I've been so concentrated on the show that I haven't checked. They usually email me, and I haven't checked my email in a little while. So I'm sure there's like hundreds of letters
Oh,
in there.
it can't be worse than my wife. She's got. I went on there the other day. She said you better get on there. I've got an email from Nutrisystem, and if you don't change, okay your order for this month, and in 2 days, they're not going to ship you your next month, and you won't have nothing to eat. So I had to go on her email, and she's got like 300 plus unread emails on there. I couldn't do that. I mean, I'm on my email every
I'm guilty.
day, or I would get buried, and so I'm on there every day, reading what I got to read, deleting what I got to delete, and trying to keep that in control, or it would just get out of hand. You better. I bet you there's messages on there for
I'm,
you.
I'm sure. I'm
What I love about your
guilty.
team, and I want you to feel free to talk as long as you want to talk about your team because I think they're very cool. What I find unique about your team, and before we get into your team, I'm going to ask you about the guardian angel thing. I've had people in me promoting your appearance. Whenever I put Earth Angel on there, I always get people going, "What exactly is it? What is an Earth Angel? She's an Earth Angel. What is that?" So I want you to explain to people what an Earth Angel is, and I want you to compare the differences between an Earth Angel and a guardian angel, and then I want you to put your 2 cents in on guard. I mean, like I said, time permitting, I may share with you my experience with my guardian angel, but I would like you to talk to us about being an earth angel and then guardian angels, and then I'm going to get into your team.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. And it's funny how you had mentioned, I think earlier about, well, maybe even just to me that there was like 3 instances where you almost lost your life. Well, same with mine. I almost died like 3 times, and I always was like, oh, man, I must have the best guardian angels, and I've always been connected to guardian angels. And then I started in my 30s getting into my gifts, and then for some odd reason, I kept hearing some clicking in my ears, and I'm like, my as my great gifts were getting progressively enhanced, um, I was like, what? Why do I keep hearing this stuff in my ears? And I realized they were my angels. My angels were connecting with me, and they connected with me through. It's like it's a clicking noise, and it's So now I ask them. It's like if you click once for yes and 2 times for no. So now I go, I went to the hearing doctor. This is what how bad it was. It's like I went to, it's like I keep
Yeah.
hearing this click in my ears, and he like ignored me totally. He's like, I don't know. He didn't say anything about it. So I'm like, why do I keep hearing this clicking noise? And so, but they so, matter of fact, my angel just chimed in and said yes. So I always give them credit. So yeah, they do connect with me. And so then I found out as I was getting more into my gifts, and I was helping with the paranormal, and I found out that I could cross spirits over. And then I realized through some weird situation, like they told me that I was actually an angel that reincarnated into this lifetime. So my soul is, I'm a human. Obviously, I've got frailties and stuff like that, but my soul is that of an angel. And as I speak, they chime in yes, or especially when I realize that. And so, and then I look back at my life. I'm like, wow, my soul's that of an angel. No wonder I was connected to so many things. Then I will look at back my life, and I remember there was a couple instances where, like, once I saved my brother's life from a fire, and when I was like 5 or 6, I ended up saving my father's life. So by going in and out of a trailer when there was gas escaping into the trailer, and I kept coming in and out. And my father says they're right in there smoking cigarettes. At the time, way back in the day, and my father was says, "Yeah, if you didn't keep coming in and out of the door, we would have probably blew up." You
Wow.
know, yeah. So, and I look back and I'm like, wow. So it made sense, and I was like, wow, I've always been gravitated to the angels, and then I realized it's like in having the gift of helping them cross, and of course with them acknowledging now that I realize that it was them talking to me. That yes, I'm human, but I have the soul of an angel. That's what considered an earth angel. Um, but I don't know if I'm much different than a guardian angel. Guardian angels, everyone's got them. Everyone's got at least 3. I have 5. I think I need the extra help
Yeah.
to be to be honest with you. But yeah, so they must feel that Sharon, you need some extra help there because they gave me 5. But I think it's just because of the work I do, and I think maybe a little more help.
Yeah. Mine is the same one. Sometimes just the voice, but she looks like a very young, I kid you not, Susan Sarandon, and like younger than when she was like in the original Rocky Horror Picture Show. A very young Susan Sarandon, and I was about to go down for the third time in the surf. I believe it was probably Malibu Beach when I was very young, living in still in junior high school, living in Southern California, and I got caught in a riptide. And I was about to go down for the third time, and I heard a girl's voice say, "Swim this way." And there was no one around. And I looked over, and 20 yards away from me was this little head bobbing up in the water. And it was this girl. She's saying, "Swim this way." And I just started swimming that way. And the waters got very calm. I got my strength back. I could breathe like I wasn't even in water. I was just standing up. Swam towards her. We swam together to the shore. I got interested in looking at the lifeguard that was running down the beach at me. And I got to the shore and I looked up and I asked him what happened to the girl. And he said, "What girl? I just saw you were in distress and decided to come down and give you a hand, see if you were okay." So that was one time. The other time I was so so drunk, it was probably just, and buddies of mine took my car keys from me, and I ended up getting in a fight with several guys to get my keys back and make this long drive home from this party. And you know, it should have never happened, but I fell asleep at the wheel while I was on the freeway, and I remember nothing other than I was about to get pulled over. There's a highway patrol man was behind me, and he said, "You were swerving so bad, I was just about to light you up, and all of a sudden you just turned your truck and started driving off the freeway." All I remember was somebody yelling at me, "Wake up!" And I was already slunched over the seat, and I looked up, and sitting next to me was this same girl. She's like, "Wake up!" I look, and I see that there's this cliff coming.
Oh my God.
And I just cranked my wheel to the left, fishtailed back all the way across all the lanes of the freeway, crashed into the center divider.
Oh,
Apparently flipped end over end on the other side of the freeway. I mean, I look at pictures of my truck and it's like the engines where I would be, the roofs where I would be. How I got out of that with just a broken wrist, I don't know, but I passed out during the collision and all that. But then, in matter of fact, last night's story, I talked about um, an extreme demonic attack I went through. And that voice I heard was the voice of that girl saying, "Pray, dummy, pray." I didn't see her that time. But had I not heard that voice, I probably wouldn't be having this discussion with you right now because that just snapped me. The connection I have with her, that just
hmm,
snapped me out of wherever I was at the time. And it got me with her help. And I could hear her praying because I mean, I had no thoughts in my mind like, I couldn't remember even what my name was at that time. She's praying and I'm following along the words with her and praying with her, and that got me out of what I pretty sure that I probably would have died had that not happened. So I'm a big believer in guardian angels, and I tell
hmm,
people all the time, thank them often.
yeah,
Don't forget them. Pray for them. Pray to them and pray for them.
yeah.
And whenever you really need help, they're just waiting for you to ask.
Oh yeah. If you've lost your watch, just say, "Excuse, just send me a bit." Yeah, it's little things like that. Like, because I'll take my glasses off, and it's like not that I can't see without them, but it's like, where did I put my glasses? And all of a sudden they'll send me a picture. It's like, and I go, and that's where they are, or I'll get a thought in my head, go check the laundry basket or something like that. They just need to be asked. They're waiting for you to ask.
Um, your team, RIP. I'll tell you what I find so interesting about the team. Um, you've got two groups of teams out there. You've got teams that they would they can't tell you why, but they would never have a psychic medium on the team. Then you have teams, and I'm in that group that um, I think a truly gifted psychic medium on your team, your paranormal investigative team, is invaluable. It's like its own piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Sharon's very sensitive. I call her my human dowsing rods. She's been so helpful for me on cases. I don't like to call myself a psychic, but I use myself as my own best piece of equipment. What I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, to help me figure out what's going on and try and bring closure to a situation. But your whole team is made up of people that are very psychically gifted, intuitive or psychics or mediums.
Mhm.
That's what I love about your team. So introduce your team to the paranormal ministry family.
Well, me and Fred are both psychic mediums. We co-founded the group, and then there's Dawn, who's a psychic medium. She's very sensitive. She's a great part of the team. And there's George, who's not psychic so much, but sensitive. He'll. It's weird. We catch him like noticing stuff, and he doesn't even realize it. It's like all of a sudden he'll just turn, and I'm like, "Did you see something?" And he's like, well, maybe, and he doesn't show off as much. He just likes to keep it all under his belt, but he's sensitive also. So it's great. If one doesn't feel or sense something, sometimes we walk into a place that has 4 or 5 spirits. Okay, I might connect with 2 or 3 or get a name and everything, and then Fred will connect with a couple, and then it's like we connect with the different ones, and sometimes we connect with the same one, which is great because we'll ask. It's like, is there more than one here? And they'll, we usually use the dowsing rods or the pendulum to help with our answers, especially because we are recording this stuff. Okay, if we just say, you know, I feel like there's 2 spirits because I'll get the number 2 in my head. But I'll use the rods and I go, is there 2 spirits here? And then the cross, and you could see that they're moving by themselves, and that I'm not just making this up. So it's like, okay, I have these. You can see they're moving. The spirits are answering the questions, and I'm just bring this up off the top of my head, because it's like, oh yeah, who is she? It's like, I don't know. There's something between the proof and the pudding. It's a little better that way.
How important do you believe or do you feel crossing spirits over is? Because I talk to people all the time that say, well, sometimes they don't want to go over. I've experienced
Mm-hmm.
that. Sometimes they don't even, they want to argue with you. They're not dead. Um, and it's just, I know our intentions are good and we want to cross them over, and some are very grateful for that. They fear judgment or they haven't seen the light,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just simply because they're just so, the way they died and their hold on life, they're they've put their own spiritual blinders on, and if you
Mm-hmm.
can get them just to somehow drop that veil, drop those blinders down off them so that they can see the spiritual world. Sometimes they're dead, but they're not experiencing the spiritual world other than they don't have a body any longer. So it's kind of tough. How important do you think that is? And when you encounter a spirit that doesn't want to cross, what do you do?
I have that more often than not. A lot of them are just like, no, we're going to stay in there. I mean, if we talk about Gettysburg, we had the Airbnb we stayed at was haunted. Surprise, surprise! It's
Yeah.
right across from the National Cemetery. I'm not surprised it was haunted, but there was like a family staying there, and I spoke with them. I spoke with them and asked them. It's like, hey, I'm here. Do you want to cross to heaven? And they're like, no. No, we want to stay. So I'm more like, okay, I can't I can't make them. God gives us all free will, so I can't make them cross to the light. But I try to persuade them, just because it's like, wouldn't you want to be in paradise? It's, unconditional love. It's, you know, I mean, the weather's beautiful. It's just paradise. I mean, you got your family, you got your health. You're not, I mean, if you're a ghost and you have your broken leg when you die, you're still dragging it with you, even though it doesn't hurt you anymore. You're not healed. So I says, like, it's health, it's, energy. You don't have to try to gain energy to do something. It's just I try to talk to them. I do more often than not. Matter of fact, it's like I'm uh, like, they'll follow me home from the store, and I'm like, you can't stay in my house. Okay, I won't allow it. I says, you either cross or I kick you out. It's
Yeah.
the same. I says, my house is already occupied by enough living people. I don't need any spirits, because I have my granddaughter living with me, and I don't need her to be bothered, because she notices them in the corner. To be honest with you, so I'm like, you got to either cross, which is paradise, and it's home, and it's health, it's your family, it's paradise. So I talk them. I says, either you cross over or I kick you out. And most of them, if they follow me home, they want to cross over anyways, and they followed me because I guess I got a bright aura from what people tell me, but I do. So they end up following me home, and then I end up crossing over. But if they can't, like, even in, like I said, in Gettysburg, we did have some spirits follow us home from an investigation we went, and I ended up helping them cross over. The family that was in the Airbnb, they stayed. They didn't want to cross, so I can't make them. across, and it wasn't my place. It wasn't my Airbnb. We were leaving the next day, so I didn't care if they stayed or not. But it was my house. I'd be like, you got to either go or cross over.
I think sometimes like safety in numbers. It's like you see some film footage of like full regiments and companies marching around out
Oh,
there at the battlefield. That's
mm-hmm.
all. They're all dead, but
Yeah,
they've got each other, and that closeness, that camaraderie, that brotherhood of what they went through, and that they have to know they're all dead. You would think, but they're
yeah,
all still together out there marching and
mm-hmm.
fighting the battle.
Yeah,
But you're right. It's just heaven is better. That's what I try. Whatever I have to say or do to try and convince them, I do a lot of praying for God to send some angels down, because they're going to be way more convincing in the argument as to this is where you're of the ages now. You don't belong here. You need to come.
yeah.
They're I would assume that they're much better at that than I am in convincing these spirits to go. So I try to get help. Um, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. I know the last time you and it's been a little while since we visited. I don't know why it's been so long,
I don't know.
but the last time we talked, I had you remote view my home. You talked about this guy in my garage. He's still there. He didn't tell me to tell you hi, but I went out and checked on him last night to make sure he was still there, because I knew I was going to ask you to remote view my home again. And it's like it's 105 here today, but in my garage, which the door is never open, it's like an oven in there. But over in his corner, it's like a meat locker. So I leave him alone. He leaves us alone. Um, my house got pretty active here. I couldn't tell if it was because I was having you on, or if I was going around checking on the things that you talked to me about. And I sent you a picture of the house, and there's that little cat on the roof there. He's all white with just a black tail. He's got like one green eye, one blue eye, but he shows up on our doorstep one night, and he's smaller than the palm of my hand. We were so worried about him, but we put a little carrier out there and a bed and started giving him food and water, and he just stayed. He acts like a dog, but he spends a lot of time on the roof. So that's if you're wondering who the cat is in the picture. But I sent you a picture of the house, and I wondered if you had time to do a quickie. What might be behind the raise in activity here as of late?
I sensed the first thing I got was a lady with a flowy dress. She had a flowy dress on. I just, maybe it was a light colored dress, but she does knock things over. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had things move or act or knocked over, but it's like she's like knocking things over, wanting to get people's attention. I don't know why, but if you've hit, and then
Is there a very slim outside chance that you may not be picking up on this, but that she might be related?
I didn't want to say that, but yes, she is.
Okay, well, I know exactly who it is then, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Sharon's mother just died a couple of weeks ago. She was 107 years old.
God bless.
Um, and right after, and she was a trickster too. Right after she passed, I'm exercising in our master bedroom, and I hear something heavy drop from like the ceiling into either the shower or the tub. And I have a shower in my bathroom. Sharon has a tub in hers. But I thought it was Sharon. So I go in there and check. Nothing's out of place. I go into my shower. Nothing's out of place there. I go back to exercise and I hear the same noise again. This time there was something. A big bottle of lotion got thrown off of the windowsill in my bathroom onto the floor. I'm like, well, something has, and I didn't even think of that it was her mother at the time till I was walking into the kitchen shortly after that. Somebody clearly tripped me. Not so hard that I would take a nosedive into the fridge or on my face. But to get my attention, you clearly feel something hits the front of your ankle and trips you, and my flip flop even went in the air.
Oh,
I'm like,
jeez.
okay, I still didn't get it. I'm still not putting two and two together. Sharon's had to miss the viewing, but she's going down for the funeral. But I'm still not putting two and two together. But her daughter is putting together this beautiful collage for the viewing. And her mother was also a very talented painter. So she painted this picture of Calvary. And Sharon couldn't reach it. It was actually on the wall behind me, and I've replaced it with my banner. But it was up there, and I had to climb up there and get the painting down for Sharon to dust it off, take a really good photo of it, so she could send to her daughter, so her daughter could put it in this collage. Well, I just ended up knowing that I wasn't going to put it back up. I just sat it down on the floor. It was leaned up against another desk in here on the floor. And the activity got real active until I figured out where I wanted to hang it. And when I finally hung it in the part of the house where I made room for it, the activity stopped. And then for some reason it dawned on me, this is Sharon's mother. And I told Sharon, you need to talk to her, let her know that you're sorry you didn't make the viewing, but remind her, that's why I came down and saw you about a week before you passed, because we all suspected that you were on your way out. But I'll be there for the funeral. I love you. Rest in peace. Whatever, whatever, whatever. And I don't know if Sharon has done that yet, but after I hung her mother's painting up, the activity stopped. So I suspected it was her mother, and you've just verified that. God, you're so talented. But what do you think about the cat? Is like
The
a
cat's a guardian.
dog.
The cat's a
It,
guardian.
I that is just so weird. Who bring who drops a cat off like that? The cat wasn't dropped off. How does
It,
that happen? In what do you think happened there? How does this cat appear out of nowhere and then just stay? And he's like a dog.
it's cats are very spiritual, and he's drawn to, which it's great. It's because you have him outside. He's by the door. Matter of fact, he hinders like negativity coming through the door. You know what I mean? He's like a guardian angel, but a guard. A spiritual guard over your house. And it doesn't surprise me he's all white.
All
Or,
white with just a solid black tail and green eye and a blue eye. And I'm telling you, he acts like a dog. He follows me everywhere, wants to be picked up, um, wants to make friends with my mastiff in the worst way, but my mastiff ain't having it. But he spends a lot of time on the roof. Unless we're outside, then he's down with us. But he's like a dog.
yeah,
It's just everybody in the neighborhood loves him. He goes and he visits with neighbors. We have there's a cat, two cats here, one cat over there. Across the street are some dogs, little dogs. But all the neighbors know him, and he hangs out at everybody's house and just the craziest thing. And I know you're a big animal lover. Let me talk to you about this. I know you have a horse. You are
uh,
quite the equestrian. Did you see the episode? Do you remember when Eli Roth had My Possessed Pet?
no, I haven't seen that. No.
There was an episode on there about a horse, and
Oh,
I thought about you, and I want you to talk to me about why do so many people.
That was the very first episode of that series, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
I
Yeah.
remember watching that because Adrian, with her background being a barrel
there
racer,
was her.
she was
Oh
very interested in that
yeah.
one. So yeah, I remember that
I
show.
forgot
But once
Adrian
again, as
did
you guys
that.
were talking about earlier, he kind of took it way overboard with that one too.
Well,
So, but yeah, that was a pretty interesting series.
Well, it's funny when I see pictures of you and your horse, Sharon. You guys look like best buddies. Tell
we're
me about that.
the
Why are
connection.
horses seem to be like
They're
like
intuitive.
yeah? What is that all about, and how does that relationship with you being who you are and what you are and what you do? How is that relationship with your horse?
Well, this horse named Cole, he's all black. He's got one little piece of white on his foot. And he's, oh my gosh, I was riding another horse at the time. Actually, he's not my horse per se, but I ride him often. Matter of fact, I leased him, and I was riding another horse at the time, and I was walking past him with my saddle to put it in the tack room, and his energy stopped me in my tracks, and I turned around. Now it's like I got the saddle, which is a little heavy, and I stopped going forward, and it's just his energy pulled me towards him, and I'm like, oh my god, and I just connected with him, and it was
He's
a spirit.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was a spirit. His soul reached out to me, and I felt it, and it made me literally stop in my tracks, and I turned around, and I don't know what stopped me, and I'm like, oh my god, and I could feel his heart. So I believe we are bonded, soul to soul. I believe maybe he was my horse in a past life. But yeah, horses are very intuitive. You can think about a horse. Okay, their main instinct is to run because they're prey animals. They eat grass. They don't prey on other animals for food. Other animals prey on them. So they have to have very instinctive of everything. They feel your fear. They feel your happiness. They feel your ups. If you're sad. Matter of fact, I was feeling sad one day, and I walked into the barn, and all of a sudden I just broke down in tears. And the one girl with me, she's like, "Are you okay?" I go, "I don't know why I'm crying. I just have this over. I'm just, something's came over me. Of course, I'm very highly sensitive." And Cole was standing there, and he's looking at me, and he steps towards me, but he was in the cross ties. He can only go this so far, but he's like coming towards me, like he was like trying to make me feel better, like he was coming to soothe me. So we have this really lovely bond, and they are very intuitive animals. Not just, I mean, all horses are, but him and me, there's some type of weird bond, and I just, he's not the perfect horse, but he's my heart horse, you know.
Well, he's beautiful. I've seen pictures. He's beautiful. Have you ever seen the movie? It's an older movie called Electric Horseman.
Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. Yes.
Uh, am I the only one that cries at the end of that movie?
Honestly, it's been such a long time I've seen it. I don't even remember what happens at the end. Don't tell
I'm
me the
not gonna.
horse
I'm never gonna
dies.
start. I'm not gonna start uh, talking about it too much, or I will start crying. But it's Robert Redford, and he's at the height of his acting career at this time. So he's still the handsome Sundance kid looking guy that we know.
Yes, yes,
But he's a retired rodeo guy,
yes.
famous rodeo dude in the movie. And what happens is he gets hired for some convention, and he's got to bring out this horse that he used to win. He's won a lot of stuff with, out and parade him around, and he notices that the horse is all drugged out. Um, so he decides to steal the horse from this company that owns the horse and take him to this secret place that he knows of, being a cowboy all his life and traveling the country by horseback. He knows of this secret place where there's all these wild horses, where he wants to take this horse and free him back amongst all of the other horses. And the police are after him throughout the whole movie, and he's, running from the police on horseback on this horse
Oh,
across country. But at the very end, he gets them to this place, and I'm going to stop talking about it there. But yeah, I can't watch the end of that movie without crying, because it's just,
oh,
he's got that bond with the horse too, and it's how they
yes.
say goodbye to each other. It's just a great movie. But before we run out of time here, um, just in case Peter is watching, what do you think about this? And then there's another object I'm going to ask you about, being an Earth Angel. I know you're going to have an opinion. Um, what do you think about Peter with this old antique oil lamp? I'm picturing him right now cleaning it,
Yeah, right.
and the
The
genie
genie
comes
comes
out, that,
out.
or he wouldn't have asked, "Is it a gin?"
Yeah,
Um, what do you think about his predicament here, in case he's watching and needs some advice?
yeah. I would say, to try to, I wouldn't sell it unless you tell, like, if you put it on eBay, make sure they know haunted oil lamp. You don't want to send something to somebody and, oh my God, what'd you sell me? And some people love haunted stuff. So there is a market out there. So but I would either, like you said, bind it or sell it, but I wouldn't sell it unless they, specifically put it in it's haunted. And like I said, but there is a market for haunted stuff.
How do you have a best recommendation if he decides he wants to keep it in his collection, but he would like to try and calm the activity down? Um, do you have any suggestions for him on that level?
Yeah, encase it in in type of some type of curio or something like that, and surround it with salt. I would put salt on top of it, and selenite. Put some selenite in there to bind it. Some blessed oil, but also over on the case, and that would keep it at bay. But I would definitely bind it like in the
I haven't
case
heard of.
with.
I know what selenite is, but I haven't heard it used in that form. Talk to me about using selenite.
Well, selenite is a basic. It's a crystal, but it's a mineralized salt which hardens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I use it for. I'll put it in my house in the four corners of my house, which I did, and of course my granddaughter goes around and says, "Oh, what's this?" And I kind of and she moves it, so then of course I have spirits going. But she opened the door. She didn't know, but that yeah, selenite is a mineralized is a mineralized salt, and so it's in hardened form, and it's almost like see
I
through.
bet you I have some of that, and I didn't even know what it was. I
Yeah,
bet you
yeah.
I have. I'll go look at my collection of crystals and stuff in there and see what I got in there. But what else do I want to ask you before I got to say goodbye to you? We got about 5 minutes left. Oh my gosh, so many things on my mind to want to talk to you about. Oh, I sent you that picture. This is a two-part question. I sent you a picture of the Jesus Ouija board. You're an Earth angel. I'm a minister. Actually, just a seminarian now, but former ordained minister. Um, I'm not a big fan of the Ouija board, anyhow.
Oh.
Don't send me hate mail, guys. I know some people use them and know how to use them and are careful, yada yada yada. I
Right.
don't. I had a bad experience with them. But here's this Jesus Ouija board. Uh, what are your opinions on the the
The
Jesus
Gigi,
Ouija the Ouija board
the Gigi.
and objects, big do's and big don'ts in what we do with certain objects like that.
Okay, there's a difference between, and I don't even like to call it a Ouija board. I call them an OG board because there's a difference between a Ouija board and a spirit board. Spirit board is just what it is. It's a spirit board. A Ouija board came upon its name from the board itself. So Milton Bradley or whoever designed this board used the board and said, "What do you want me to call you?" Well, guess the dark entity that he was talking to gave him the name. That's how it got. That's why I call them OG boards because I don't want to give them credit. OG
Shame
boards are
on
not.
me. I should have known that. Shame on me.
So the
I'm just
Jesus,
gonna call it Gigi boards.
yeah, Gigi, yeah, I call it OG. Because I don't want to give it credit.
Yeah.
But yes, that's the difference. So anything that's named OG or GG in that way is not going to be good. If it's a spirit board, it's different. Oh, there you go. Yeah. If it's a spirit, and this is considered, you can see it says Holy Spirit board. It's a spirit board. It's just like any other divination tool, like the rods, the pendulum, tarot cards. It should be fine because, like I said, the OG board or the GG board, as we've been calling it, has been named from a dark place. The dark thing named it, and so when you use that specific tool, you're going to just open up the door to not really good, nice things, unless
Absolutely.
you really know what you're doing and you know are professional at it. But most people aren't. So,
I an hour is not long enough with you. Did you have fun when you come back?
oh yes, most definitely.
Yeah, I love talking to you. I don't know why it's been so long that you and I haven't hooked up like this. I don't. I really don't have an explanation. Um, because you've been on, you were on my radio show back in the day, and then you've been on this
Hmm.
podcast a couple of times. So yeah, we got to do this again sooner. I've got a lot of other things I want to talk to you about, but most importantly, I love you and respect you, and I appreciate so much you taking an hour out of your busy Friday to hang out with me. I know my paranormal ministry family loved you because I got a lot of good feedback. Oh, I never don't know her. I can't wait to get to know her. And people that know you are like, oh, cool, she's going to be on. So um, great feedback. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Got one episode left next week. Hope you enjoy it. I'm glad
Yes.
it's not too scary for you. It's too scary for some of my friends, and some of them couldn't watch it. But have a wonderful, wonderful Fourth of July weekend. Keep doing what you do. Give your team my best. Maybe I'll have the whole team on next time if you can get you all of you
All
in.
huddled around.
Yeah. But have a great weekend, and I pray for you often, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay,
Thank you. You too.
Sharon. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye. I think Zach. I think I keep catching Zach off guard today. Uh,
Yeah, I just can't hear today. That's all there is to it. So, but hey, I just want to take a real quick moment to wish everybody out there a very, very safe and happy 4th of July. Please, everyone, remember that you know what? There's a lot of kids walking around, running around. Please be very careful. Also, we've been talking about them with your animals. There is a great story about how to safely keep your animals on one of my podcasts from last Wednesday. Make sure that you protect your animals because your animals are freaking out this time of year, and just be very careful with your animals and your kids. Okay, have fun with your families, but have a wonderful and happy 4th of July. Just be safe and love people out there.
Absolutely, good advice. Yeah, good advice. I put the hard door on so my dog doesn't go outside and freak out. Crank the TV up and just try and be close to her. My outdoor cats, they know there's safe places where they can go, and I'm assuming they find them because the following morning they're still around. But not much I can do about the outdoor cats. But yeah, it gets bad here. So that was great advice from Zach for the animals. And if you know anybody that's got PTSD, check in on them because it's rough on them too. I will be here. I'm going to take me and Zach both. Well, Zach might not. He may still play a couple of best ofs, but I'm taking next week off. So I won't be back with a new live show till Monday, July 10th. And that will be my monthly show with Dr. Joy Pugh, Joy to the World series. So that'll be a good one. Make sure you tune in for that. Um, Thank you to Zach and Adrian Clayton, my co producers. I couldn't do the show without them because I'm completely computer illiterate. And communitypayitforward.us. Communitypayitforward.us. Just go there, experience it, be surprised. You'll be pleasantly surprised. USOCC.org, the church I belong to. Go there. You'll be pleasantly surprised. BishopJamesLong.com. Go there. Again, you'll be pleasantly surprised. We offer night prayer Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific. The links are there. We offer Bible study Wednesday and Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Pacific. The links to those are there. A lot of beautiful things going on. Everybody could use a little more God in their life. Trust me. Thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. Thank you to Skeleton Key Network. Thank you to PACT, little p, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, for all of these networks simulcasting my show. God bless you for that. Did I mention Skeleton Key Network? All of these networks are simulcast my show, and I really appreciate that. Eli Roth presents The Legion of Exorcists, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. on Travel Channel, Discovery Plus, and Max. One episode left in season one. Next Thursday, I do have a story featured on this coming episode called Pastor Delgado. Probably my most frightening and life changing case I ever worked. That's going to be a good show this coming Thursday. I hope everybody's enjoying that show. It's not for everybody, but it is what it is. Like I said, I get a lot of people reaching out to me saying just watching me on the show and me sharing my stories have brought them back to God, which, hey, guy, shut the front door. I'm done. It's over. I did my job. Okay, it is bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of a haunted carnival barker hat. It's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say good night and have a great, safe, long, beautiful 4th of July weekend. Why can't you trust the king of the jungle? Because he's always lying. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all. Peace.